Yo, what's up YouTube and weekend? This is the Lifestyle Club. So what are we going to talk about today? A very important topic. Today we are talking about how to dress up perfectly for a job interview. Now, why is it important to dress up for a job interview perfectly, so to speak? Because man, if you're on a payroll, if you're employed somewhere and you make a blemish here and there, if you make a mistake with your attire, it's okay, you can get away with it once in a while. They're not going to fire you for not dressing up appropriately, or I at least hope they don't, right? But for a job interview, they're scanning you from top to bottom, so it's very important to be precise with everything, right? So I got 10 things, to tell you. May sound a lot, but they are pretty basic, man. Everyone knows them. Everyone knows from point A to point Z what should be done, what should not be done. But guys, believe me, when you try and put all these things together, you will be surprised how many people go wrong at simplest and the most basic things, man. So we're gonna start from 1 to 10, from top to bottom. Yeah. Number 1, your hair. Your hair are very important part of your personality, man. They scream loud about you. If you set your hair nicely on your, job interview, it gives a very neat, a very sincere image. Presents a very sincere image. If you're not setting your hair on your job interview, it gives a careless image. It projects you as a careless person. And I bet no one wants to be projected that way, man, because that won't work in your favor. So set your hair on your job interview. I'm not talking about going to a salon and getting them set. I'm just talking about setting them with whatever you use. Oil, gel, spray, wax. Use any damn thing that you always use. Don't experiment on a big day, because that's one day you cannot afford a bad hair day, right? So set them nicely. That's gonna project you as a sincere guy, right? 2, facial hair. Facial hair. See, I'm a big fan of the stubble look, or the brat look as they call it. But for a job interview, it's not the most perfect thing to do. It's not the most needed thing, So what I urge you to do is, you should be clean shaved, either, or if you have a moustache or a French cut or any other facial hair, get them nicely trimmed. They should be nicely regulated and trimmed. That's very important. So facial hair should be either clean or nicely trimmed. Very important. 3, shirt. Now it's a very important garment, guys. It's very basic. I'm gonna say it's gonna sound funny, but I'm gonna tell you one thing: wear shirt of your own size. I guarantee you there was a study done in India, recently, and 60% of the people wear shirt which is not their size. Meaning, if you have some belly fat, it's not a crime on a job interview to have a bit of belly fat here, you know what I mean. But it's criminal to wear a slim fit shirt that's gonna highlight your belly fat. When you're gonna sit down, the interviewers are talking to you, you sit down and your tummy's popping out of the between buttons. You don't want that to happen. 60%, can you believe this? 60% of the people wear a shirt that's not their size. That's either too loose for them or too tight for them. Man, things go horribly wrong on a job interview. So wear a shirt of your own size. It shouldn't be too tight or too loose. Just keep it nice. And one more thing about the shirt. Your shirt should always be lighter than your trouser. It's very important. Now, why do I say that? It should be lighter than your trouser. Because, say, you're sitting in front of the interview panel, right? You're at a good 10-12 feet and you're sitting. They're scanning you from top to bottom. They can see everything, right? And now when they're talking to you, and for example, you're dressed up in a black shirt and an off-white trouser. You're sitting at a distance, they're talking to you. Which part is highlighted? The upper body is dark. You're wearing a black shirt. You're wearing an off-white trouser. So all the attention is being driven to the lower body. And that's something you definitely don't want to do. When they are conversing with you, you don't want to distract them, towards the lower body. Because it's pretty obvious, man, this is where they should be looking at, not your trousers. So don't make this mistake, man. Don't highlight your trousers by wearing a lighter trouser than your shirt. Telling you, a lot of people make this mistake, man. Black shirt, grey trousers, not a good thing. Black shirt, off-white trousers, black shirt, beige trousers. No, man, don't do it. Your shirt should be light so that the attention is where it needs to be. 4. Tie. Man, tie is, you can't go wrong generally. But I can tell you, people want to go wrong with it, they can go wrong with it. I don't care what knot you tie, whether it's a 4 in hand or half Windsor or full Windsor or knotty knot, whatever. But I'm telling you one thing, knot is fine, but keep it basic and formal, man. There was one incident, I was a guest interviewer in a panel. When I was getting in the interview chamber, I saw a few guys there. One guy stood up. He was nice, he had a good personality and a quite stout personality. So I was curious to see how he'd perform in the interview. Man, he entered the interview chamber and I was, what on earth is this guy thinking? He was there for a job interview and he walked into the interview chamber with a SpongeBob SquarePants tie. That is stupid, man. That is screaming. You're not saying anything, but as soon as you enter the room, your attire is screaming, man. I don't take myself seriously. And screw you interviewers, I don't take you seriously either. So, keep it basic, whether your tie is solid, stripes, diagonal lines, anything, man. Avoid polka dots, please. So, generally speaking, keep it basic, keep it formal. Formal attire is not something you can get too funky with. Keep it basic, keep it formal. That's why it's called a formal attire. Funky things are not allowed in there. Right. 5. Formal belt. See, formal belt is something you can't go wrong with unless and until you actually want to go wrong with it. It's pretty simple. Black formal belt never fails. Never fails. If you're confused what to wear, black formal belt, it'll never fail. Whatever you wear, right? You can play with the colors a little bit, like dark brown, a little light brown, tannish. But then it should go with your attire. If you're not sure, just go with the black one. Black formal belt never fails, right? Keep it basic. Your trousers. Number 1, they should be comfortable to you, man. They should be very nicely fit on the waist. Not too tight, not too loose. I know all these things are pretty basic, man, but all these things put together, a lot of people make mistakes. I'm telling you this. So, make sure your trouser is comfortable for you. It's a nice fit, whatever it is, parallel, straight, slim, whatever. Should be comfortable with it. And keep the trouser darker than the shirt. Very important. Next, 7. Your socks. Your socks, this is where most people go wrong. People think they're wearing nice white socks or off-white socks and white looks good and all. Formal attire, man, White socks are for casuals or for sportswear, gym wear, anything. It's not for formal attire. I'll tell you why. Because socks is not a fashion accessory. It's a basic accessory that you need to use. It's not a fashion accessory. You don't need to flaunt it. For example, you're wearing a black trouser and a grey shirt, yeah? And you're sitting in front of the interviewers. What happens is, when you sit, your trouser ups a little from the ankle. And you're wearing a grey shirt, black trouser, they're talking to you and the white socks are distracting them. Don't want that to happen, man. Again, if you wear a light trouser, you're driving attention there. If you wear white socks, the attention goes there. It can be distracting. Don't do it, man. Choose colors which are dark, navy blue, black, dark brown, dark grey. No white and definitely no yellows, man. Please. I've seen people wearing this, believe me. Yellow socks on a formal attire. Don't do that. Keep them nice and quiet. Your socks shouldn't be screaming. It should be nice and quiet, almost unnoticed, right? That's what socks are for. Shoes. Again, black never fails. Keep them nicely polished, clean, and you're set. You're set. You don't need to do anything with that. Formal shoes. Keep them nice and simple. You can go with the colors, dark brown or something like that, but black, I'll tell you, it never fails. 9. Handkerchief. Always carry a handkerchief. Pretty basic, I know, I told you all these things are basic. But when you're getting ready for the interview, you're in a bit of a hurry, you got pre-game jitters and butterflies in stomach or whatever. You forget your handkerchief or lots of things happen, man. You're nervous on that day. So next time you're going to a job interview, just play the video the night before. You'll remember everything, right? So this was number 9. Keep a handkerchief at all times. And preferably white. Don't go for pink. Although you can, and colors are used these days, but white is the basic handkerchief. Number 10. It's not a garment. Number 10 is not a garment. It's your smile. You need to wear a smile. Yes, I said it. You need to wear a smile. Because it projects you as a sincere, confident, and a pleasant personality. These are the 10 things I have to advise you, man. All these things, if you do them right, they project you as a very sincere, hardworking, serious towards the job kind of a guy. And you betcha, if you're going in for a job interview, you definitely want to be projected as a sincere guy, hardworking one, and who takes his job seriously. Right? So this is what I had to say to you, man. This is how to dress up perfectly for a job interview. And if you got any queries regarding lifestyle, just put them below. I'll definitely get back to you. In the meanwhile, this is bcoz signing off from the Lifestyle Club, man. Ciao.